National Girls and Women in Sports Day here at Conte Forum. We're the highest-ranked team in the national polls from the ACC, the NC State Wolfpack in town to take on Boston College. Hi, everyone. Welcome courtside along with Luis Sanchez. I'm Eric Galanti. Thanks so much for making us a part of your Sunday afternoon. Boy, this NC State team, which has dropped just 2 games all season, coming off a win against Clemson, but this is not a foreign upset possibility for Boston College because they beat this top 10 NC State team just 1 year ago.
Yeah, it feels like anytime these two teams meet, even though they're probably perennial favorites, throw the records out the window. Those games are going to be really close.
Let's talk about this NC State team, and it's kind of a theme with some of the top teams in the league. They're just so balanced. It can be someone different every night.
Yeah, and for the Wolfpack, it's strength in numbers, right? 5 players with 10-plus points on the season, led by Isaiah James with 15. That's 11th in the ACC. Zoe Brooks would make that 9.9, would make that number 6. But you also look at the rebounding. 6 players with 4-plus rebounds. River Baldwin, 8th in the ACC, and 5 players with multiple double-doubles on the year.
Let's talk about this Boston College team, which is 3-5 in conference play, and really whether they've been at home or on the road has been the biggest factor. You look at those records, it's even more stark in the league. They're undefeated at home. They have not won an ACC game on the road.
Yeah, and look at the points. The points at close to 80, shooting at 40% here inside the friendly confines. The big number that really sticks out is that turnover margin, 9.9 here at home.
We mentioned that game 1 season ago down at Reynolds Coliseum with the Eagles pulling a 79-71 win, which was their first top 10 win since 2010. Remember, that started a 2-game stretch last year where the Eagles beat NC State and then came home and beat Florida State in their 2 biggest victories in ACC play of the season. Eagles are coming off a loss on the road at 18th-ranked Louisville on Thursday, trying to snap a 2-game losing streak in conference play. NC State winners of 2 in a row against Duke and then at Clemson on Thursday. Taya Sidbury jumps center along with Sanaya Rivers. And we are off with the 7th-ranked Wolfpack, the highest-ranked team in a loaded ACC once again this year. NC State on the offensive end averages just under 78 points a game this year. Rivers is 7th in the conference in assists, likes to run things. Amy Collins gives a little handoff. Here is James on the drive, left hand no, but the follow-up for Baldwin, and that's the biggest advantage that NC State has in this game, the size of River Baldwin at 6'5" in the paint.
Yeah, that rebounding battle is going to be one to watch throughout this game. How can Boston College box out those bigs down in the paint?
Sidbury waits, goes left hand and good. So Taya Sidbury, who has 9 points in each of her 8 ACC games so far this year, averaging more than 13 a game in conference play.
We were talking about it, Eric. They're just so good in distributing the ball.
Another take inside. Expect a lot of that this afternoon. Mimi Collins, the grad student from Louisiana, is on the board for 2. Tavia Wagner now for Boston College, the former member of NC State, played her freshman season with the Wolfpack, and there's a big triple from Kayla Ivey to get the Eagles offense going.
We talked all season long about Kayla Ivey and just trying to develop that shot. If she can keep that shot going throughout this game, it's going to be tough for NC State to try to guard the outside while also protecting the inside.
Kayla Ivey, that is a huge lift. They can find her 3-point shot. Double team comes to Collins, ends up finding space. Oh boy, the double team was there, but it sagged off at the end. And NC State takes advantage. 4 points for Collins. Eagles going quickly in transition, which we will see both teams do a little bit this afternoon.
2 quick teams like to go fast.
There's Sanaya Rivers on the drive, not there, the junior from Wilmington, North Carolina. And here comes Ivey. 2nd in the ACC in assists, off for Sidbury. That never had a chance, and a rebound down to State. Addison Hayes, who was the leading scorer against Clemson in the victory on Thursday, had 24 and 8 in that game. And is inside, and a foul called as Todd is tied up with Collins.
She wasn't backing down from that. She's holding on to that ball. I think they're going to call a foul here. You see Kayla Ivey just lining that shot up. And right here, just Mimi Collins good patience to wait for the double team to sag off and then finishes off the glass. It's the type of plays that Mimi Collins makes, and she was ranked 22 in the impactful transfers coming to NC State.
Going back to Ivy, was just 4 of 16 from the floor in the last 2 games. That three-point shot is in there. And a good find early to answer for 3. No. Follow-up rebound is good. Well, we told you it was going to be a big key coming into the game, and all of NC State's points are in the paint so far. 4 for Baldwin, 4 for Collins.
Just crashing boards. A couple of offensive rebounds here for NC State early on.
So in a traveling violation against Todd. We talked with Wes Moore this week and said, you know, we're still a little bit of a work in progress, as every team is around this time of year, but he was really happy with how his team came out early in the game against Clemson on the road, whereas he felt like they did not get off to a great start against Miami on the road a week and a half ago in a game that was NC State's just 2nd loss of the season.
And what Miami did well is play zone defense, and that's what Boston College is doing here.
Todd sends over to Sidbury, who walked. So a couple of unforced turnovers on the Boston College offensive end the last 2 sequences.
Just can't get lazy with that plant foot. You got to make sure it stays on the ground so that the officials aren't looking for that kind of movement so that they could call the travel. And Wes Moore, who scouts teams really well, is probably telling the officials ahead of time this is a big one to look for.
Ivy in transition, good pass off. Wagner had to wait, but still manages to find the basket.
It's a great job putting it high off the glass as well, knowing that the bigs were right behind or trailing in on that play, could get blocked from behind, so Wagner knew she had to go high off the glass.
Both teams with a good start from the floor. Boston College 3 of 5, NC State 4 for 9 so far, and now 5 for 10 as Sanaya Rivers has her first 2. Was the ACC 6th player of the year last year. Todd answers. This is a massive offensive start for Boston College from the floor.
10 points scored in 9 games this year for Rivers, or 10+ points scored for Rivers. It's just incredible to see her develop her shot this year a lot better than it was last year.
And a steal from Wagner. Her 68th of the season. Out front to Todd. Got it. Dontavia the steal and the assist. And Boston College with an 11-10 lead.
Both coaches said this game would be a sprint, and it feels like that early on here. Back and forth we go.
Coach Mack was really looking for energy out of her team early in this game, and we've seen it. A couple of travels on one end, but they've created some turnovers well. Playing a little bit of a zone defense today. There's Wagner, who meets James at the rim, and James will go to the line when we come back. Good start to this game on the offensive side with 4:57 to go in the first quarter. Dontavia Wagner, the former member of the NC State Wolfpack, with the steal and the assist to get her new Eagles up 1. It's great to have so many young fans in attendance here today on this National Girls and Women in Sports Day. It's been a tradition all around college athletics. Boston College has been participating with their women's basketball program, and all the women's programs who participate. We'll talk about that more as we go through. And they've gotten to watch a couple of steals already for Dontavia Wagner, who is now tied for 8th in Boston College history for all-time steals. 68 of them this year. She came in 2nd in the ACC in steals. I think the big thing with her is just her vision is what allows her to create so many of these opportunities.
Yeah, and it hasn't played her full career here at Boston College, right? So that's also with a year short, still climbing up the charts. It just shows you that the defensive part of the game is a big part of Coach Mack's philosophy, and Wagner has bought into that philosophy.
So James hits a couple of free throws at the line. NC State leads 12-11 here, 4:47, first quarter. Appreciate you joining us for this ACC Women's Basketball Sunday from Conte Forum, where the Eagles have not lost a conference game this year. Todd with 8 to shoot. Open Sidbury for 3, a little short. And James has a long rebound.
It's like BC went into that 3-2 zone now, trying to bring that extra to the top.
Nice job by James to step inside. No good on the 2, but a rebound from Madison Hayes. Wes Moore told us this week he feels like Hayes is that kind of under-the-radar player that maybe doesn't get talked about quite as much as some of the others, but does all of the little things like get some offensive rebounds, and that's 4 of them early for NC State.
She scored in double figures in 13 games this year. She can contribute to this prolific scoring offense for the Wolfpack.
Todd, long 2 is off the mark. Long rebound to Collins. Really good close defense by NC State, which is the best in the ACC in field goal percentage defense and 3-point field goal percentage defense. That is taken away. So Boston College doing what it does, creating turnovers, now needs to execute on the other end, but a traveling violation is called on Andrea Daly.
Yeah, I think Daly has a point here. I thought that was tipped, so she had to regather it on her way to the rack, but the official saw it there under the bucket. Take a look here. So good feed again, great vision from Todd, good cutback, and maybe Rivers doesn't put the hands out, so just a little bobble there. So good call by the officiating crew.
Shots have fallen a little less frequently from the floor here all of a sudden. Either team with a made field goal over the last 2+ minutes. Sidbury from the elbow. Nearly lost it, gets it back though. Double teams there. Ayla Lizama into the game for the first time for Boston College, along with Nene and Jai.
You like this reset, take your time.
Ivy looking for help, finds Lizama. Got to get it up with 3. That was a difficult take with Rivers all over her defensively. Really good job by Sanaya Rivers, staying true with Lizama at the end of the timer. Still a 1-point lead, and that is good at the basket for Isaiah James, the junior from Virginia Beach, Virginia. 11th in the ACC in scoring this year. And Jai, nice footwork inside, but couldn't finish at the basket, and then a foul. It's one you don't want to take that far away from the basket on Sidbury. Have not been a ton of fouls in this game. It's been up and down the floor at a pretty good pace so far.
And you mentioned it earlier, Boston College hasn't been able to find the bucket. It started off pretty hot, but scoreless in the last 3:18. You know what BC has done well is limit the turnovers. They had 8 in the first quarter against Louisville last game, just 3 so far here in the first. And as you mentioned, this is a tough Wolfpack defense that loves to get those steals.
Kind of a double-edged sword, right? On the one hand, only the 3 turnovers stands out. There's Collins inside, couldn't finish, got a rebound, second time up. And a held ball gives possession to Boston College. Excellent work by Nene Njai, the first year from Senegal inside.
Yeah, you'll see it here, just sizes up with Collins, doesn't want to foul there on the first take, and then right there with the left arm, puts it on the ball to make sure that they get the jump ball possession.
And Jai has gotten more time here recently, averaging nearly 22 minutes a game over her last 2, including a career-high 10 points on the road against Louisville the other day. Sidbury right hand, tough take, and Jai got a piece of the rebound, but is going to be called for a foul in the process. So all of a sudden here, the Eagles have got a little bit quiet from the floor. They have not scored in nearly 4 minutes of game time, though in that same stretch, NC State has only scored 2.
Yeah, it's just a momentum taking Njai over the defender there. That's why the foul is called. If you go straight up and you try to go for that rebound, that's not an over the back, but for the most part, when you go over the defender, that's going to be called all the time.
Free ball for James is too strong. James is 10th in the ACC in 3-pointers made this year. And Jai, a weave for Boston College. Coming up on a minute remaining in this first quarter. Wagner, elbow jumper, in and out. NC State trying to run a little bit. Zoe Brooks, no. And this time the Eagles grab the rebound.
Good job sending more bodies for Boston College into the paint to try to get those rebounds and limit the offense of their second chances for NC State.
Wagner trying again from the elbow. This time it's good. So 4 for Dontavia. And a 1-point lead again for NC State, with perhaps one more possession here in this opening quarter. Or second difference between the game and the possession. Rivers on the drive, all the way in, and it goes. Excellent take from Sanaya Rivers. 3-point lead. Todd gets it off, and it is a 3-point NC State lead after 1. Really good job by Rivers pulling the defense out well beyond the arc and setting up an opening to drive right down Beacon Street to the 10 and give the Wolfpack a 3-point first quarter lead. Well, we mentioned it last season down at Reynolds Coliseum. Boston College pulling an upset of the then-ranked NC State Wolfpack. First top 10 victory for the Eagles since 2010. And Dontavia Wagner with a special night, double-double against her former team. And that started a stretch for Boston College. Wins against NC State and Florida State, their biggest 2 of the season.
Yeah, prior to last year's matchup, the Wolfpack had won 10 in a row in this series to create some separation between them and BC, but that was a big win. The last time they played here was an overtime game in Chestnut Hill.
So both teams that got off to good offensive starts today. The offense slowed a touch as the first quarter went on. Here's an open look for Brooks. That was short. Rebound, though, to NC State. That is 6 offensive rebounds for the Wolfpack. Oh, nothing doing here. Boston College started 5 of 7 from the floor, then 1 of 7 to end that first quarter. And Jai, just 6 seconds remaining on the timer. Gotta get it off, and just a bit outside.
Sometimes that shot clock forces you to go a little quicker, even though you have more time than you think. It was a good screen there from Daly, but Njai just didn't see it, so she couldn't dish it off. And again, more credit to the NC State defense. They're active hands, they're moving around, they're in sync here in their defensive sets.
It's Bob Euchre's birthday this weekend, so James for 3, that's good. Isaiah James, cornered pocket, 7 points. And NC State with its largest lead of the afternoon so far, 19-13.
With zone defenses, you have opportunities to shoot, you gotta take them, and when you have good shooters like James, they're gonna start falling eventually.
Todd coming around and stripped. Sanaya Rivers, 3rd in the ACC in steals, and the foul.
We were talking about transition. That's what happens when you get a steal from the top of the key. Good speed for Rivers. You see it, that's the 3 in the corner. And then right here at the top, nice move to not foul Todd, get the arm around, and then nice little hop step to get through the paint, draws the contact, and 1.
This is a good example of one of those statistical games where NC State 6 offensive rebounds, though they only have 4 second chance points. And Boston College has turned it over 5 times. It's not a massive number yet, but it just all starts to add up. And that's why now NC State with 8 more attempts from the floor than the Eagles, even still with 8 minutes to go in this second quarter. It's 21-13 to the 7th ranked Wolfpack. Kayla Thompson, the freshman point guard from Kentucky, in there for the first time. Her left hand high off the window, no. And Zoe Brooks, first year from Plainville, New Jersey in transition. No problem there for Brooks. Her first 2, and in a blink of an eye, it's a 10-point game.
Yeah, no offensive rebounds for Boston College, as you mentioned. More opportunities to try to score for NC State. There's a foul called there on Brooks, but when you have those chances, it allows you to keep adding on the points as we've been talking about. You see here on the drive from Brooks, That's another player we were talking about. 9.9 points a game coming in. There are 5 players who are averaging 10+ points. She's right there on the verge of making it 6. They love to distribute the ball, and they're unselfish, very unselfish team.
Doesn't have to be any one player, any particular game. That's no good from Lily Kreshovets, the first year. Out in front is James, and NC State is on the run right now, and a timeout. Joanna Burnaby McNamee. Didn't take much, but NC State takes advantage of the opportunities. And all of a sudden, a 9-0 start to this second quarter has the Wolfpack up by 12 here on the Heights. 12-point lead for NC State. A bunch of members of the pack have made the trip up to snowy, slushy New England. Just New England weather.
That's
what
perfect way to say
today.
it, right? We don't know what to call it outside.
Sidbury for 3 is good. That ends a 1-for-8 stretch from the floor for Boston College. And that is a massive triple to get the Eagles going. First points of this second quarter. And that snaps a 9-0 NC State start to the second frame. Wagner nearly had a steal. Rivers got it back, though. What a take! Sanaya Rivers! After it looked like Wagner had the steal, but Rivers right to the basket. And she is going to the line.
My, oh my, look at this move. Extra spin cycle on that one and still finds the rack. That's a beautiful move. And then gets the foul to go to the line. You know, Sanaya Rivers has had quite the career, and she had 12 games this season with 15+ points, and she is looking to get past that total again here today. Back-to-back 3-point plays.
So it extends the NC State lead, 9 points for Rivers. She started her career at South Carolina, won a national championship there in limited time. But the ways she has come through, most notably her career high 33 points earlier this year to beat number 2 Connecticut. 33-10 in that game.
It was a big moment for the program, right? Number 2 UConn, they coming to your house. They were able to match up with a healthy Huskies team.
It's just a reminder after. Down here is not the right word. I mean, they were 20-12 last year, but 9-9 in the ACC. We're picked a little bit lower in the preseason poll, unranked in the national poll than what they've been the last few years. And just a little bit of a reminder that the Pack are here to play. River Baldwin got rid of it. Here is James on the drive. Left hand high off the window. That's really well done by Isaiah James. And State's just not missing from the floor right now. Shooting over 50%. It's 30-16. And a whistle away from the ball here.
You mentioned Rivers. I mean, Isaiah James as well. She had a career-high 33 points against Duke earlier this year. Just one of 9 ACC players to get to that 30 mark. And you see right there just great ball protection to get through the defense and able to finish. And that's what NC State has been able to do well here in the first half, is finish at the rim. They're not taking a lot of jump shots or 3-point shots. They're attacking the paint.
Since this game was a 3-point mark, as Todd is off, at 16-13. Boston College is just 1 of 5 from the floor, and NC State is 6 for 6. Free throws not included, which there are a bunch of them in there. Madison Hayes with her first 2. And NC State has doubled up Boston College. They're outscoring the Eagles 16-3 here in this second quarter.
Just using their size, pushing around the guards.
Todd gets inside, that is blocked. Wagner throws it up and will get free throws. Tavia, who has earned herself more trips to the line here recently.
It's important, especially when you're trying to close a gap, to try to draw some fouls, get opportunities to slow down the pace. NC State is off and running here in the second quarter, so for the Eagles, just try to slow it down a little bit, play your style of game, and get NC State to bite into that, playing your style. Just feels like everybody for the Wolfpack plays with an edge, right? They come out, they hustle hard, they have that grit.
Kayla Lozama checks in for Boston College. NC State with only 3 fouls total in this game. That is one of the spots they really excel. Do not foul very much, don't give you many opportunities. Eagles create a turnover, now need to capitalize. Daly, it's blocked, got it back, goes up and is fouled. River Baldwin reaching from behind.
There's a sense of the size playing a factor now. Eagles keep pump faking there when they get down to the paint, expecting a big or some arms to come into the play. You'll see it here a couple of times with Daly, and then she'll get her own rebound off the block and then gets fouled from behind. But there's that, you hear footsteps, right, when you're a player, and sometimes you just got to go straight up with it and draw the foul that way instead of waiting to bait somebody to draw a foul.
Andrea Daly, the Eagles' leading scorer, at over 15 points a game this season. A 5+ point jump in her own right this year, but missed 2 at the line. And this second quarter has been all state, though the Eagles continue to create some turnovers here. Sidbury inside, no, Daly follows it up and wisely elects to reset a touch here. Daly got it back, open corner 3 is good. First points for Andrea Daly, coming off just 4 on the road against Louisville on Thursday.
That starts on the defensive end, Eric. They get back in transition, set up the play, reset it after it got sent back out, and they found the right shot.
Zoe Brooks kicks to the corner. James for 3 is good. Isaiah James matches the triples, and she has 14 points. Another one to match for Todd, no good. NC State will go again. Tavia Wagner back in now for Boston College off the turnover.
This is back for Boston College. Sidbury hustling back to get that pass away from Baldwin. And then you see Kayla Ivey with eyes going back up, the reset out towards Todd, and you see Daly. No one's surrounding her, so she'll post up there at the 3-point line to fire that shot.
Well, they have turned it over a little bit. Eagles have caused some, but 8 consecutive shots NC State has made from the floor. Sidbury for 3, that's too strong. Todd read it really well, though. Good job by Tiana Todd to see that that shot was off and follows it up. Eagles trying to hang close here. It's a 12-point game, considering NC State's shooting 54% from the floor. Brooks moving away from Sidbury. It's River Baldwin the size advantage inside. James on the drive, little floater, no. Baldwin had a piece of the rebound, and then that's one where her size almost causes the foul as she doesn't secure it cleanly. And that's the second foul on River Baldwin.
Yeah, I credit Sidbury as well, who's been crashing boards on both the offensive and defensive end. You know, if you're Boston College, Sidbury's gonna be a big part of the game plan to success, going, being one of the bigger players for Boston College. And she's finally finding that rhythm here in the second, whether it's driving, kicking out, protecting on the defensive end. See if she can make some free throws.
Beg your pardon, they have that as the first foul on River Baldwin still. Right now, Boston College. A couple of misses at the foul line.
CBC now in a man defense. They've switched from that zone to match up.
James for 3, that is strong. Good read by Madison Hayes and is fouled.
Yeah, Hayes saw that one going a little heavy off the side of the rim, so she crashed boards and was unmarked there by Todd. So another second chance opportunity here for the Wolfpack. Hey, watch out now down low, cameraman. Well, Hayes is one of those players that continues to show that energy we were talking about. Finished by Collins.
37-24. NC State the lead, 2:45 to go. Here in the first half from Conte Forum. Wagner turned it over.
It's the help side D for NC State coming in to help out. Kept Dontavia Wagner pretty quiet.
Nice little give and go. Collins inside, no. And then almost kind of had to hold up on the rebound because Wagner was down on the floor, so couldn't quite go and grab it, even though she read the miss. Allowed Todd to get to it. Double team comes and is stolen. Excellent read by Rivers, who's fouled by Kayla Ivey. Another steal there for Rivers.
It's a good read, as you said, Eric, just finding those opportunities to close those gaps on those passing lanes. And when the double team comes, the guards are moving. They're trying to take away the extra pass for Boston College. And that's led to a lot of turnovers here for the Eagles in this first half, mainly here in the second quarter. You can see the opponents in crime there with the steals. And where they rank in the ACC, both players like to hound that ball.
Biggest difference in this game was that 9-0 run to start the second quarter for NC State. Other than that, it's been relatively even. Rivers inside. Boy, a special game for Sanaya Rivers. So already, Rivers has 11 and James has 14 of NC State's 39 in this first half. 52% from the floor, and most of it is inside. Only 5 3-point attempts and 2 makes. Wagner is not there for the outside.
Not a lot of second chance opportunities for the Eagles as well. They are forced to one and done.
James again for 3. That was too strong. Important possession here for Boston College. Not scored in the last 2 minutes. Outscored 23-11 here in the second. Wagner is fouled before the shot. So the foul is on the floor. So NC State is in the bonus, so Dontavia Wagner will get free throws.
It's this last drive by Sanaya Rivers. A little hezzy right there to get the jump from Wagner, and then the nice little scoop finish as she works her way into the paint. And there's a reason why she's on a lot of watch lists. She is good.
Wagner, who always seems to play well against her former team. Now her 3rd season with Boston College. Now, on the one hand, NC State's done a really nice job kind of pulling away a little bit in the second quarter. On the other hand, still only 13. Not that 13 is, you're right there, but if Boston College can, maybe find a stop and a score here, you're set than done. I'm still right in this. Wagner going for the steal.
It's even
those around enough.
Yeah, it's that, like you said, NC State started with a 9-0 run. If you're Boston College, you feel like you can also match that 9-0 run with a couple of buckets and a couple of stops.
Hayes gets the 3. And just when it felt like maybe the Eagles are hanging in, a massive 3-pointer for Madison Hayes to give NC State its largest lead of the day. Thompson thought about it, with 17 to shoot. Wagner, that 3's there, but that is no good. And it is out of bounds. So remember that sequence. With the game at 13, depending on what happens, NC State hits the 3 at one end, Boston College misses at the other, and now 22.4 seconds to go for NC State with possession and no timer. Rivers made the play at the end of the first, goes inside, Collins, it's off her hands, and Jai's got it, and that will do it. So NC State, a big three-pointer to extend the lead to 16 points, the largest mark of the afternoon. And the Wolfpack, 42 points in that first half. Rivers with 11, James with 14. NC State up 16 at the break. 42-26 is the Wolfpack lead over Boston College as we welcome you back to action here. Second half about to commence from Conte. For Blue, Sanchez, Eric Galanti with you. And, you know, that early part of the second quarter was really the biggest difference. It felt like NC State did a good job carrying that through, but you know, we did see some success from Dontavia Wagner, who continues to be a pest on the defensive end for Boston College.
Yeah, she really kept the Eagles in it in that first quarter. A couple of steals, a couple of layups on the other way. She had a nice opportunity to dish to her teammates, and again, just mixing up the shots. But on the opposite side, you got to credit this NC State team. They're unselfish. It started here on the opposite end with Sanaya Rivers. You see Isaiah James getting involved as well. I mean, Rivers had a couple of sequences there where she went back-to-back on the and ones, and it really helped create that distance in that second quarter. And then you see James here on the other scoring plays that she is one player that can hurt you from the three-point line. She can hurt you from attacking the rim. She can distribute, and she plays phenomenal defense. But really in that first half, her scoring was what helped propel NC State to the big lead. It's really what NC State has done well all season long, is mixing up the inside and the outside. You see the points increase from a year ago, and it's just phenomenal to see the production that she has had this year is coming off the work that she had over the summer.
You see those two performances in that first half. James with 14, Rivers with 11. They were both really efficient from the floor as well. Kind of the difference right now for NC State, who overall shoots 51% from the floor, 43%, 3 of 7 from behind the arc. And it felt like, you know, the offensive rebounds really stood out for NC State in a big way. Now, it wasn't necessarily that they converted off of a ton of them, but they converted off enough. They did enough off the turnovers, and then they were so efficient from the floor, that kind of makes the difference.
Yeah, you look at the second chance points, it's not that far out of reach. It's 6 for NC State and 7 for Boston College. So even though the offensive rebound numbers are 15-3, BC has done a better job in not allowing them to score those second chance points. Now for Boston College, you know, they went away from the shot in that second quarter. They were trying to attack the paint a lot. Get back to developing that shot, whether it's the mid-range or the three-pointer, you might find a way back into this game.
Well, it's one of those tricky tasks against a team like NC State because they're so good defensively, as we talked about. They are #1 in the ACC in field goal percentage defense, #1 in the ACC in three-point percentage defense. They are 11th nationally in fewest fouls committed per game. They don't give you many opportunities, and while Boston College is so good off the bounce, they also have a distinct size advantage today, which makes it difficult, like you talk about, to go inside. And again, as much as we talked about, you know, the big run early in that second quarter, remember the sequence at the end of the first half for NC State, where Boston College had it at a 13-point game. Again, not right in it, but kind of hanging in. And then a massive three-pointer by Madison Hayes, who again kind of steps up in a big moment. And 13 versus 16 feels quite a bit different right now as we start half number 2.
Madison Hayes is also feeling it, right? Coming off that career high, scoring 24 points against Clemson, narrowly missing the double-double. So it just feels like everybody on this roster, and they play a short roster, are finding success.
River Baldwin starts the second half just as she started the first half with a bucket inside. That is 30 points in the paint this afternoon for NC State. 30 of their 44. Largest lead of the game right now at 18. Ivy runs the offense. Good bounce pass for Wagner.
Well, Coach Moore talked about Kayla Ivey and his scouting of Boston College, and was so complimentary of what she's been able to do. I mean, her numbers and to assist a turnover ratio are phenomenal. Some of the best in the country and the best in the conference.
They're pretty much first in the ACC in assists to turnovers all through the conference season. As a foul committed at that end for Boston College. Wagner, by the way, now into double figures, first for the Eagles with 10 points. Ivy's assists have come down a little bit over the last few games, but of course, she's now, because of how well she's run the offense, you move higher up the scout in terms of what teams are trying to take away, and it makes life all the more difficult as James knocks down the first.
You can see it, even on that last play. A couple of defenders come out, they don't see the cutting Wagner. But good vision from Ivy.
NC State shoots 74% from the free throw line on the season. They are 5 for 6 today. Get the lead back to 18. Todd along 2 is good. 8 points for Tiana Todd. Rivers, we've seen her on that drive a few times.
Taking advantage of the miscommunication there. The screen didn't come for BC, the help side defense, so she just ran past the defender.
And even when the Eagles offense is off to a good start here in the third quarter, NC State has matched punch for punch. Ivy is too strong from 3. And Madison Hayes has the rebound. Rivers right back inside. Quickly, the bucket not there. Hayes on the side of the paint. And then Mimi Collins is called for the foul, her first.
Mimi Collins just crashes boards. It doesn't matter who's in her way. She's going to try to get that ball, and this time she's got a little too aggressive over the back of Ivy and Todd. But that's a player that you want on your roster, right? Somebody who's going to go after those 50-50 balls and chase down rebounds no matter where it's coming off the rim.
There's Kayla Ivy. It's it back for Andrea Daly. 3 points in that first half for Daly. NC State has taken away the Eagles' leading scorer. Sidbury for 3 is good. And so 9 points quietly for Taya Sidbury, Eagles' second leading scorer today.
Even with the shot clock going down, BC is still able to keep their composure and find the kick out to the corner.
Rivers, good back cut with Hayes. Quite the offensive day for NC State. Eagles quickly answer, though. I think we saw that in the first quarter. Both teams kind of getting out and running, and that time maybe too much on the run. But we hadn't seen that in a little while. Both teams definitely want to do that. They both like to run.
Again, going back to that Sidbury 3, Kayla Ivy with the dish to the corner, drawing the defense back into the paint. Too much space for Sidbury, and we've talked about it at length here throughout this game, as that's the player Boston College wants to get going here, as she provides size and energy out on the floor for the Eagles.
Here's Daly, that's good. So Andrea Daly a little bit more forceful shooting the ball, and that's now 7 points. Back-to-back made shots here in this second half.
And that's what we said. They don't have to match NC State attacking the paint. There's too much size down there. Develop the jump shots and get them to fall.
I really like Rivers' game. Drive and kick and good for Hayes.
She's the first one to have a big smile on her face when a teammate makes a shot. It's just awesome. She's one of those teammates any coach would want on the roster.
Sidbury, left hand, good. 11 for Sidbury. The Eagles are now coming to life on the offensive end, but they have not been able to stop NC State at the other end. Rivers again right down the lane, and Sidbury does get over. Out of bounds off of 32 and goal.
You know, it's that first step for Rivers. It's so quick. Once she gets by a defender, it's so hard for them to regroup. And you see the block here for Sidbury. Great job going straight up to get a hand on that ball and not draw the foul.
Baldwin kicks to the corner. Collins is good. Mimi Collins, who really worked hard in the offseason to work on her shot and kind of change her shot, more coming from her shoulder than up high, And Wes Moore thinks it's made a really big difference for Collins, who's now a 44% three-point shooter this year.
Yeah, you joked the last player that shot from above their head that was that good was Larry Bird.
That's right. That last one was a long two, but the point still stands. It's 55-39. Here's Baldwin, elbow jumper with just 4 on the timer was off. At BC possession, Eagles have made 4 of their last 5 from the floor.
That's one of those stops you got to take advantage of if you're Boston College. You get the ball right back, no points on the board, try to get some points to cut into this deficit.
Each team with 13 points in this third quarter, which is over halfway gone. Here's Sidbury, right hand. No, a little short.
I like the idea there for Sidbury, trying to attack River Baldwin, who's not at 100% here for the Wolfpack, but you're able to capitalize on that drive and getting more points for your team.
James off to her left and is fouled. 4:25 to go in the third. The NC State halftime lead has stayed at the same 16-point mark halfway through the third. This morning, Boston College welcomed over 200 girls and their families to the National Girls and Women's in Sports Day Clinic, sponsored by the City of Boston Credit Union. Coach Mack kicked off the event with a warm welcome before inviting all the attendees to interact with all 14 of Boston College's women's sports teams. Really exciting event. They participated in a bunch of different skills and stretches and practice and drills. And then a ticket to today's women's basketball game was included, which is why we have so many youngsters here today. And what an exciting event it was. And it's really been a special event year in and year out around here.
Yeah, and it's part of the story of many players who went to games or had an opportunity to meet players, and they say that that's one of the catalysts for them to play the sport or to continue to fall in love with the sport. And it's such a great way to reach the youth in today's game.
Well, they have seen NC State build a 56-39 lead with 4:18 remaining in the third. Zaya James now over her season average with 17 points after that made free throw. NC State's been very good at the line today. They've been very good offensively, period, today. Todd with 5 to shoot. Ivy gets around to her left, got to get it off. Not a bad look. Sidbury inside and is fouled.
I'll tell you, Sidbury's playing motivated here in the third quarter.
Third foul on River Baldwin.
Just see the hustle there, especially on Baldwin, to outreach one of the tallest players on the court. Finding a stride, and now 5 points here, misses the free throw, but again, just trying to attack for Boston College and get points.
So Sidbury makes the second.
Sidbury is just a great addition for this Boston College team. 12th in the ACC in field goal percentage and rebounds per game. Getting comfortable in ACC play.
They're playing at Utah for the Pac-12 champs a season ago. That commits a foul here on the reach. Second foul on Sidbury. Here's James on the drive, the lefty, no good. Well, you feel like you have to take advantage of every one of these stops, as well as NC State has shot the basketball from the floor today at 52%. The Eagles having some momentum on the offensive end here in this third quarter. Still the same 16-point lead it was at the break, and it stays that way as Wagner's off the mark for the elbow. Collins inside, No. Had the size advantage against Todd, but Todd did enough. Ivy in transition. Sidbury. Defense catches up. Sidbury on the drive. Got to the bucket. Boy, that's a pretty good look. But just could not finish at the rim, and then the foul at the end of it.
She waves goodbye to Brooks. Had Brooks going the opposite way. Opened up the lane for her, but just couldn't finish. And good help side defense for the Wolfpack to make that layup a little bit more difficult for Taya Sidbury.
Called that last foul on Dontavia Wagner. So for Boston College, it's 3 on Wagner and 3 on Daly. NC State has opened up an 18-point lead again. 4 points for Zoe Brooks. Ivy for 3. That's off the mark.
That's what the 2-3 zone has allowed NC State, is forcing Boston College to take those outside shots.
James, good job to get inside, but short. Eagles have shot it at 46% from the floor in this third quarter, but NC State has shot it at 50% here in the third.
And you mentioned
Built
this.
the lead by 2.
It felt like the first quarter, and it still feels like that, right? They got hot early on in the first quarter, but then cooled off. They haven't made a field goal in the last 4:05.
Kayla Thompson and Nene Njai and Lily Krashovets all into the game for BC. 5 to shoot. It's Todd, cuts inside, and a held ball is called. Possession will stay here, but just 1.7 remaining on the timer.
It's just, again, active hands from James to keep that left hand on the ball and draw the jump ball.
Eagles have gone a little bit cold from the floor here over their last 6, and Jai has to get it up. Decent look at the end of the timer. It's off the mark down to Rivers. Rebound number 31 for NC State today. And Jai and Krashovets do a good job to get back, but it's taken right back away by James. And here a held ball, and possession will go the other way this time.
Freshman not backing down, goes to the ground to try to play this ball here on James, but everybody, it feels like all these guards for the Wolfpack, they are just ball hungry. A little extra there on the reach, but nothing too bad. Cooler heads prevail here. The swag Njai plays with, I mean, it just doesn't back down from anybody. Will take it to the rack, try to fire a shot.
And Jai goes to close out on James, and James comes in, makes the shot. 19 points for James.
Took a peek over here. I thought she was looking at you, Eric. I thought you said something bad to her.
She's fired up right now. And her Wolfpack have a 20-point lead with under a minute to go here in the third. Sidbury, no, knew it, tried to follow, and it's out of bounds. It stays here as it's ruled off of Madison Hayes.
That's Sidbury there, putting the extra work on the defensive end to try to keep the possession for Boston College.
Sidbury to her left hand. Got a rare one-on-one matchup inside, but couldn't finish at the rim. So Boston College held it for a while at the beginning of this third quarter, but now NC State is on a run to build the lead to 22. And the Eagles have not scored in over 3 minutes. Officially a 6-0 run. Todd to end it. 11 for Tiana Todd, who shot at 35% from 3 this year.
It's a big one. Try to get some momentum here. Going into the fourth quarter, now you need to stop if you're BC.
There is Rivers, pull up from the elbow, no. A couple of seconds remaining in the quarter. It'll stay here with under a second to go. Pardon, the final chance for the Eagles. Got to get it in, though. And that will do it for the third. So good finish for NC State. Boston College does make the three late, but the Wolfpack shoot it 50% from the floor in the third, and they actually build their lead by another three. NC State with a 62-43 lead. You know, we've talked about the balance of NC State, but it's no accident that they've accomplished this. Look at the year-over-year points per game improvement. Now, some of it obviously is stepping into larger roles, but it's no accident to see 5 players who have increased their point totals by at least 4. That is the most of any Power 5 team in the country.
And for those players in James, Baldwin, Hayes, and Rivers, all averaging 10-plus points for the first time in their collegiate careers.
Here's Wagner on the drive and is fouled. So that third quarter, kind of a microcosm for the whole game. It was 14-14 in the third. Boston College hanging right with NC State, though not getting the stops on the other end. Both teams playing really well offensively. And then just subtly, NC State kind of pulls away a little bit. The Eagles did hit a 3 at the end, so it ends up being just a 3-point quarter. But they've just done enough of the little things, and that continues to add up over time.
And again, no real second chance opportunities for the Eagles. It feels like one and done, and NC State's going the other way. So gotta limit those opportunities for opposing teams to continue to fire more shots. 45-51 isn't that bad.
James is good. What a game for Isaiah James, up to 22 points. At her season high 33 2 games ago against Duke. Counted on the other end for Taya Sidbury, who now has 14.
Yeah, we've been talking about James, a product from Virginia Beach, Virginia. Well, she has a scorer's mentality. Shoots the 3 really well, attacks in the mid-range, can go to the paint, isn't afraid of size mismatches. She's one of those players that just plays with confidence, and that's what you want.
By the way, was the 4th foul as well at the end of it on River Baldwin. Now on the floor against Sidbury.
These guards, again, we've been talking about the guards for NC State. They're just so quick. They don't pick up their dribble very often, so they keep that dribble on the ground, and it allows them to see or make a play.
Another foul here. Second on Lizama. He had not had a ton of fouls in this game, but 2 each way in the first minute here of the 4th. NC State trying to find a way to their 6th win in conference play this year and their 18th overall. Baldwin, it's no good. Well defended there by Daly, but an offensive rebound. Madison Hayes finds it, and James goes to her left. Not there on the runner. Daly, transition, 3-ball is good. Double figures for Daly. For the 18th time this season.
Once again, defense leading to offense. You see NC State trying to slow down the tempo here as BC is cutting into this lead.
Now, Wes Moore told us this week, he said, you know, we know we like to run, but we need to be able to score in the half court and feel like we can when we need to. Rivers, 7 to shoot, got to the paint. James is open, no good on the match. It's about as well as you could draw it up, just didn't go down for James. Daly, 2 in a row, yes! It's a 9-0 Boston College run.
And we said it, Eric, right? If one team can do it, the other team can. They just need to get some stops. And so far, it's been BC with some good stops.
Westmore will use the timeout. Largest run of the game for Boston College here to start the fourth. And maybe a ball game still to sort out on this ACC Sunday at Conte Forum. Well, we told you, it felt like this whole way, even when NC State had kind of built the lead, that Boston College was hanging around. And it's been a year where the three-point shot's been a little bit up and down, but Andrea Daly making 2 now to bring it to 50% today, 7 of 14, and the Eagles are back in it at an 11-point margin.
Yeah, Sidbury 2 for 4, Daly 3 of 3. We said it, with the zone that NC State is playing, you have to get those shots to fall, and so far, it's been Daly here in the fourth.
Eagles guarding closely. James for 3 at the end of the timer. No good. Sidbury has the rebound. BC can get within double digits for the first time since the first half.
Both teams have gotten patient here in the fourth quarter, trying to find the right shot.
It's a 9-0 Boston College run. The last 6 from Daly. Knocked away, 4 to shoot. Lozama, gotta get it off. It was blocked. Sidbury still has a little time. Oh boy, and she is fouled with 0.2 of a second on the timer. A massive break there for the Eagles.
Yeah, it looks like Collins just gets under, wraps her around, so that's where the foul is. Got her right arm around Sidbury on the block, so kind of lands on her.
So it resets to 20 on the possession. Daly on the drive. Daly inside, not there. Sidbury, though, got the offensive rebound. Blocked by Hayes, though Sidbury got it back. 4 to shoot for BC. Ivy for 3 is short. Eagles nearly had another rebound. What a possession. And on the one hand, a lot of good work. On the other hand, though, opportunity that NC State survives.
Just got to capitalize on those opportunities, those second chances. And you got to credit BC, their grit, their effort, their hustle is there here in the fourth quarter, but you got to limit the chances NC State's getting on the opposite end.
The half court for State. Brooks got it inside, wide open, Madison Hayes. And that could be a massive 4-point swing.
How about that vision from Brooks just to draw the defense?
Lozama, elbow jumper is good. Nice look from Lozama. What shot there? Her first points of the game.
Played well here at home when she's gotten opportunities, so she could be that spark for Boston College.
Played really well at the end of the non-conference, and she's earned more minutes. What a take inside from Collins. And then a
inbound violation, it looks like, on Sidbury. Yes, she stepped over the line.
So again, and Boston College get the stops when they need to find a way back into this game. It's NC State trying to close it out on the road. Lily Krashovets will come back in for Sidbury.
Sorry, Eric, but yeah, I love that move. Give Sidbury a little time to rest, get her back onto the floor once she gets that breath.
Yeah, I agree. Doesn't have to be a long spell. Important sequence here. NC State having just scored with Collins inside. James comes in and a foul on Andrea Daly, I think, got a reach away from the ball. And if that's Daly, it's her fourth.
Yeah, it looks like she just got the arm in there as the insert was coming for Collins on the pass from the top of the three-point line. BC with some size out there now, trying to get some quickness, but also some strength in the paint.
Obviously, the Eagles here, a lot of work to do from the scoring standpoint, but if they can find their way back, Daly has 4, Wagner has 3, and Sidbury has 3 fouls. Another foul called away from the ball. That's going to put NC State in the bonus for the final 5:35 of the fourth quarter. A foul goes against Nene Njai. A delay of game warning against NC State. Nobody was there to inbound the ball. Comes into Hayes, who traveled before the shot.
Again, BC defense stepping up. They see Hayes cutting across, put a body on her, and she has to rethink that shot. The shuffling of the feet causes the travel.
So another chance to try to convert off a turnover for Boston College. Trying to hang in this game at 13 points the deficit right now. And Jai to her left and throws it away. And Joanna Burnaby-McNamee is going to bring Andrea Daly back on the floor with 4 fouls. This is where, with the bench a little bit short right now for Boston College, it's kind of a, you kind of trade one thing for the other here.
Yeah, and Sidbury's also going to check in.
So you have all 3 of your players in foul trouble right now on the floor for Boston College, but of course, they are your 3 best scorers. When the Eagles need points more than anything right now, hanging in, but still down by 13. Nice give and go. Hayes inside and converts. And that's one where maybe Daly can't go full bore at it because of the foul situation. So Hayes now with 14 points. Todd pull-up jumper is off. Rebound down to Hayes. And a couple of sequences in a row here where it felt like there was an opportunity maybe for BC to get back in, but NC State continues to convert on the offensive end. 51% from the floor today. Five to shoot, Rivers inside. Collins with a triple team there, and a foul is called.
And Coach Mack is upset because there was an arm on that ball for a long time, but no jump ball came. The foul comes as the shot is released, and a chance for NC State to add to their lead.
Second on Ivy. 4:22 to go in the fourth. NC State trying to hold on for win number 18 of the season. Let's look one more time at that last sequence. The foul called against Boston College, and it eventually goes against Kayla Ivy right there. It was that last hack. Everything was clean before that. They get Ivy on the foul. Again, remember, NC State is in the bonus the rest of the way with 4:22 to go. Not a massive run, but it was just a kind of a crucial 4 points, now 5 points in a row for NC State after the Eagles had cut it to 11 a couple of different times, but never inside of that. Collins is good from the line. NC State has made their free throws today, 8 of 10. Credit Boston College for staying in it, letting NC State put the game away. But obviously work to do with 4:04 remaining here on a Sunday afternoon at Conte Forum. Eagles looking to avoid their first conference loss at home this season. 2 free throws coming up.
Everything has come late in the shot clock here, for the most part, for Boston College. The defense for NC State forcing more passes, more looks for BC.
After the foul against Zoe Brooks. Offensive rebound off a missed free throw. And to shoot for BC. Sidbury gives it off Lizama. 6 to shoot, 3-pointer, too strong. And Rivers has another rebound. Out in front, Collins got in behind but missed, but an offensive board for Hayes. Collins' second try is good in the foul.
That's what we call a stat stuffer, right? You missed the first one on purpose, you can get your own rebound. Yeah, right. Get a chance to improve your free throw percentage as well. But, I mean, how about the vision from Rivers? That pass, she was surrounded by Eagles, still sent it downfield. I mean, it is football Sunday, so maybe she's gonna watch some football here on the plane ride home, but just great vision down the court.
So the free throw converted, and NC State has brought the lead back. On a 9-0 run, it is out to 20 once again. There's Todd. One of those where it felt like Boston College had pushed to a point where you could see something happen. Westmoreland used the timeout. We'll step aside for 30 seconds. 76-58, the 7th-ranked Wolfpack with the lead here at Conte Forum. Out of the Westmoreland timeout to finish the point we were kind of making. Again, you look at where this game was. It got to 11, left a little bit of doubts, but then NC State has really done a nice job since that point. James is out in front, and that is now 24 points for Isaiah James. Wagner inside, no. So the final margin will, in all likelihood, kind of be a little bit bigger than what it was at one point in the fourth, as that is out of bounds. Possession will stay here with NC State.
Yeah, again, just trying to create opportunities. The guards looking up court to make sure they have somebody, and that time it was James, who's having a great game here today.
Hayes for three is no good. Collins, a nice putback. 17 points for Mimi Collins. So Collins over her season average, James over her season average, Hayes and Rivers as well, all over their season average today. Wagner is a little bit short playing against her former team today. Nice passing for NC State, maybe a little too strong there.
Little English is spun away from Mimi Collins.
And Jai, no good from three. Tied. Good work on the offensive rebound. And it's knocked out of bounds. NC State's going to bring in a couple of new faces here with the 80-58 lead. We see Steele back into the game the first year. Valerie Collier and Maddie Cox for NC State, who will be taking on one of their rivals, 20th ranked North Carolina, next time out. It's Thursday night. Catch that 8 o'clock on ACC Network. 3 ranked opponents in a row, and 4 of the next 5 for NC State, though all 3 in a row, Carolina, Louisville, and Virginia Tech at Reynolds Coliseum, where NC State has not lost this year.
Those crowds were just incredible down in Raleigh. I mean, they bring the atmosphere for those NC State Wolfpack games. Especially North Carolina in second. That should be a good one with the rivalry they have.
There's a reason the Wolfpack are the highest ranked team in the ACC in the national picture right now. Came into this weekend 9th in the net rankings, but their schedule is the 2nd highest combined opponent net ranking of any team in the country. There's room to move if they keep playing like this. Steele off the mark, a couple of follows not there, and it's out of bounds. 46.3 to go. Gianna Ayesa, the first year from Egypt, is into the game as well for NC State. So again, the final score margin is going to be a little bit bigger than what it was, as NC State, after BC got to 11, has finished this game on a 15-2 run over the last 5 minutes.
With this win, Wolfpack will improve to 85 of their last 86 games are wins when holding their opponents under 60 points. You know, BC right now at 58, but just shows you how when they play their defensive sets, it's hard for teams. We saw it earlier in the year with the UConn game, in that Paradise Jam against Kentucky and number 3 Colorado. Their defense has been one of the best in the country.
Wolfpack team who were 500 in conference play last year. But they are back in the national spotlight once again here in 2024. Sidbariole triple is good. So 82 to 61. Eagles still putting a little bit of pressure on defensively. So NC State will move to 18-2 overall and 6-2 in the ACC. Boston College will drop their first home game in conference play this year. Hung in for a while, but the 7th-ranked team in the country ends up putting the Eagles away late. NC State will set up the showdown with their in-state rival, North Carolina, on Thursday on ACC Network. Final seconds come off. 82-61. The Wolfpack are 18-2.
Well, there's a reason they're a 7th-ranked team in the country. Why they have 18 wins, and a big credit to their defense. And it felt like in this game, it was, probably going to be the Sanaya Rivers show, but it ended up really becoming the Isaiah James show. And when you look at the contributions that this team gets from not even the starters, but the players that come off the bench, the spark, they keep that momentum going. Wolfpack are going to try to look to make another deep run into the NCAA tournament. Last year, obviously, the letdown against Princeton in the first round, but they made it to the Elite Eight 2 years ago. They were in the Sweet 16 3 years ago. It's a program that continues to build and build.
No reason to think that there's not another run potential in there for NC State this year. Appreciate you joining us on this National Women in Sports Day. For Luis Sanchez, our producer Andrew Samuel, director Josh Demers, and the whole crew here in Chestnut Hill, Eric Galanti saying so long. To watch this entire game on replay, as well as other games on our family of ESPN Networks, download the ESPN app. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports.